Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Panther Nation, put your nines up. Put your nines up because your boy Bryce Young is officially signed, sealed, delivered, and is the QB1 of the Carolina Panthers. Look, we got a quick episode of Panthers Corner coming at you right quick, man. Take about 15, 20 minutes of your night, your day, whatever you're doing, man. You're cooking dinner, throw the boys on. Talk about some Panther football with us, man. Let us know in the comments how you feeling about what we talk about tonight. Quick rundown. We're going to talk about Bryce Young contract. We're going to go in depth about that. We're going to talk about Brian Burns and what we could think his contract is possibly going to look like. We're going to talk about the new two Hall of Honor members. Yeah, and I think that's about it. I mean, it's three good things that we can kind of. One of them we can't really go in depth about with the two Hall of Honor members, but we can definitely go in depth about Brian Burns and what he's looking at, and Bryce Young and what that man just got. So let's jump and talk about Mr. Bryce Young. So Bryce Young has officially signed his fully guaranteed 4-year, $37.95. So let's just throw it out there. This is $38 million fully guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Which comes with a $24.6 million signing bonus, $25.3 million in cash. That is fire in 2023. That meant $25 million in cash, almost $25.5 million cash. With a 2027 fifth-year option. 2027 seems so far away, but it's going to fly by and it's going to hit us quick. Because remember, 2011 seemed like a good time, but now here we are in 2023 and we're on our next QB1. So with his cap hits coming in this year alone, it's going to be about $6.9 million. Next season, Bryce is going to be at $8.6 million. In 2025, he's going to be at $10.3 million. And in 2026, he's going to be a $12 million cap hit. So to get this conversation started, CK, my only question to you is, because of what we traded for Bryce Young and the roughly $40 million guaranteed that he's going to get and everything, what do you see on field wise, on record for what the Panthers have to be this year record wise? What do you consider all this looking back at it is going to say, you know what? The trade was worth it. The money was worth it. All of it was completely worth it in his rookie season.
Record-wise, for me to sit there and say it was completely worth it, you have to bare minimum 8 wins. But if it's 8 wins, he has to be like offensive rookie of the year, and it was just like maybe injuries happened, and that's why we lost some games, or maybe they're all really close. But it was still like, okay, Bryce looks like the guy, right? Other than that, I mean, I would say 9 or 10 wins would sit there, and that's the other way where it's like maybe he still looks really good, but he has his rookie moments. But we're very competitive. I'd say that's how I'd say that. Yeah.
Right. Correct. Yeah, I actually really agree with you. I see Carolina honestly winning 11 games this season. I don't see any blowouts. I see a lot of shootouts though. I think we ranked around the 26th to 29th range in passing yards per game or passing average, whatever. That's team-wise, offensive-wise, I should say. That's what the Panthers were ranked last year, 26th to the 29th, somewhere around that area, passing-wise. We were not good. Running-wise, we were like 11th. I mean, we were great running. But I really think that the defense is really going to hold its own this year. I think that the new scheme that's being brought up is the new Ajero Avero scheme is going to be insane. I really think it's going to help out Brian Burns. I really think that Derek Brown is still going to shine. But I think Bryce Young, from everything we're hearing, all the hype that he's getting, even though outside of like Panthers Twitter and stuff like that, the other the big sports news outlets aren't really giving Bryce Young any props. They're just like, he's little. We don't know. Which I agree, you don't know. The little thing, the whole size comparison, I don't like the size thing because if his size was an issue, he'd have seen it in college and he wouldn't have dominated like he did. He wouldn't have been. That's the thing. Is everybody's like, he's just little. You're right, but that little man won a Heisman. That little man put up 5,000.
Yeah.
I think he put up a little over 5,000 yards last season for Bama. Like, it's like this. Y'all act like this dude come in here and wasn't playing like top tier Alabama QB. This dude was one of the best QBs Alabama has ever possibly seen. I mean, because when I think best QBs from Bama, I'm thinking of Tua and Mac Jones because they were really good. No matter what they are in the NFL, they're still really good in Alabama because they were.
Yeah.
Especially Mac Jones, whether you believe it or not. You got to turn the tape back on. I'm telling you, man. I've seen him a lot. I mean, I'm an Auburn fan, so I've seen Mac Jones and definitely Tua. Tua, if I'm telling y'all, if Tua was healthy, he'd be a top 3 QB in the league. I put money on it. I really do. I would argue that he would be. Behind Burrow and Mahomes, I really think he would be. Because that dude can sling the rock.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, I think 11 wins is where I'm looking at Carolina at right now. I know of course I'm being a little biased. But at the same time, I do think that we're not going to be a rollover team this year. Yeah. I'm telling you, we're not going to be. If this team puts up anything less than 8 wins, this is an extremely disappointing.
Yep, I agree.
Like, unless everybody just gets hurt, which, knock on wood, I pray that does not happen. But there's no other reason for it. There's really not. And I don't know what we're waiting on for a defensive edge to be signed, but let's kind of
or even a corner at this point,
or something.
Anything, really anything. I think we've said our piece on this. It's been a while though, so I'll go back into my rant. You can't sit there and rely. I understand you can believe in Yator if you want to. You can believe in Marquise Haynes. You can believe in Barna. You can believe in DJ Johnson. I'm not saying you can't do that, but the fact is right now you have one proven starting edge. Marquise Haynes is proven as a rotational guy. He can get sacks. Like, he's not terrible. But you don't have a proven starter next to Brian Burns. You need to have a pass rush, or you are going to get killed whenever Dante Jackson probably gets hurt at some point. And if history repeats itself, J.C. Horn. And then you're going to be back there with C.J. Henderson and Keith Taylor and whoever else, and they're getting burned. And you're like, I wonder what would help in that situation. Maybe having somebody who could rush the passer next to Brian Burns and Derek Brown, and But we've said a lot about that.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is a lot of people think that you got to remember when it comes back to Derek Brown, I'm going to keep pounding this and pounding this and pounding this until people really think about it. With a guy like Derek Brown, it's not much about the sacks. The dude was one of the biggest when it comes to pressures. He was one of the most dominant pressure defensive tackles last year of forcing pressures. So, and he only had 1 sack. So it's like, if he don't sack the QB, he's not there to sack the QB.
Yeah,
he's there to get the QB out of the pocket. So then he makes a stupid throw, or he forces him out the pocket and he meets Brian Burns if Burns doesn't overrun him.
Yep,
like he has been. Which, no hate to Burns, but
that's his one weakness.
He's had that. That's the only weakness I've ever seen Burns have. It's just the arm tackling. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
he could have had 20 sacks, but he.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, that he'd have so many more sacks, and he would have better numbers right now in his first couple seasons than
it'd be close to Peppers.
He really would. If not better,
it'd be right there.
They're about neck and neck anyway
when
it comes to stuff. Now. But he'd be, I think his sack total would actually be a little bit higher. I could be wrong, but still, either way. We'll get to Burns in a minute. But, I think safe bet is putting Offensive Rookie of the Year to Bryce Young. It really is. Like, my opinion, if I bet money right now, I'd put $20 on Bryce Young, absolutely. My second best would be Bijan Robinson, because I'm going to tell you, Atlanta's going to run the hell out of Bijan Robinson. Excuse my French, but they are. They're going to beat him and beat him and beat him. I get it. But I'm telling you, man, and with all these running backs going on strike, you know what? which
Glad
I
we-
got
glad
my
we
own
got Miles.
about that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that
we,
tomorrow.
we will be talking about that tomorrow on Pack the Bank, but because that is I know, right? Packers Corner, which Packers Corner is out on YouTube right now. Packers fans, go check it out. Go Pack, go. J-Lo still sucks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So we will be talking about that. I love you, Cody. He's gonna give me crap for that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Worth it. But nah, man, I really think 9 to 10 wins is probably where I'd be okay at. 11 is me being a little biased, but you know what? I mean, why not be biased? If you,
Might as well.
I'm not gonna be a wet blanket. If anybody gets that reference, but you know, I don't want to go in like with my hopes too high, because the guy I'm talking about is from C3. His name is Greg. They call him the wet blanket, but he does kind of have a point. And as much as it aggravates me listening to him, because I'm like, we get it. You don't want to put all your chips in as you see him play. We get it, but you got to be a little optimistic. But he's like, I am, but I'm not gonna sit here and buy 9 Bryce Young jerseys and be the biggest Bryce Young fan when I ain't seen the man even throw the football yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong. I'm not against that at all. Greg is completely right, but it's just, I want to be optimistic, but at the same time, I want to be realistic. It's really hard right now because you don't know what Bryce is going to look like. But from everything that they have been talking about, all the stuff that's been out on Panthers Twitter, that all the beat writers have been putting out, the reporters, is Bryce Young is this. He's magical. The dude's a unicorn. The dude is like a offensive-minded Luke Kuechly. That is huge praise, by the way. But if this man is a Luke Kuechly of the offense, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, that's going to give some defensive coordinators a bad night's sleep the night before we play them. Like, maybe not this year, but next year and the year after, because he's going to get better and better and better. And I really think Bryce Young is going to be a lot better than what people think. I'm not saying I really think we're going to win the division. But so real quick, man, the Hall of Honor, the next 2 guys being put in, which of course deserve it. There's nothing. To be honest, I'm surprised Peppers wasn't in it the first time around, but I don't think he'd been out of the league long enough to technically be considered for the Hall of Honor for the Panthers.
Yep.
But there's nobody else that deserves it more than Julius Peppers. You could argue maybe other than Steve Smith, but that's whatever. And then by far the best second wide receiver 2 we've ever had. And I would argue that I would say that if you took Steve Smith completely out of Carolina history, Musa Muhammad would have been the best wide receiver in Carolina Panther history, 100%.
Yep.
These guys deserve it, man.
Dogs. I called it, by the way.
The worst, yeah, you did call it. Yeah. I think I had Peppers. I didn't have Moose.
Everybody had Peppers.
Yeah, Peppers was kind of a given. Moose deserved it, though. I'm not against Moose. I'm glad he got it. He deserves it. So they're going to be having their inductee thing, the whatever you want to call it, at the Houston game, October 29th. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, which possibly the
boys,
Panthers Corner right here tonight, maybe going to.
Yep.
So be on the lookout for that. So, because what's better than going to see Bryce Young beat up on C.J. Stroud, seeing Julius Peppers get put in the Hall of Honor in the same day? Booyah, baby!
Booyah, baby! Oh, and that's another thing. Now, you know what I think? Now, I know a lot of people were thinking about one Mr. 59, Mr. Luke Kuechly.
That's coming. Right. Don't worry.
It's coming. But I genuinely think, in my heart of hearts, I think they're going to wait for as long as possible so that they can do the 4 horsemen at the same time.
This will be being worn if we go to that Houston game, FYI.
Fire.
Going to be rocking the I wish, though, the only thing I wish it was an old school Panthers and not the new. I wish it was an old school and it would be better.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. 4 horsemen are coming.
You're talking Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I will not miss that game. I'm going to tell you now. I will up my credit card thing just to buy tickets to that game, buddy.
Yeah,
if I
I
had
think
to.
they're gonna try. I don't know how possible. I don't think that's actually like possible to do. But if they could do it,
Why not?
well, just because like if depending on how long it takes for a Cam to retire, if like Luke Kuechly makes it to the Hall of Fame, are you really gonna wait like 3 years or 2 more years to put him in?
I could see them if they do
They
anything.
could do Luke and
Maybe not
TD.
4. I'd do Luke and TD as the team because that's what they were. They
Yep.
were a great team, and then you do
Yep.
Cam and Greg
Yep.
because they were the. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Mhm.
two. It was the tag team of offense and the tag team of the defense. That's what
Yep.
I would do.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, I won't miss either one of those games. I'm going to tell you now. I will not. I will be at both of those. Definitely the Cam. I would spend an unreasonable amount of money to be front row at that game.
They have to
If
put,
I-
you have to put
if
that
I
on some
had-
cupcake. You have to put that. You have to put that on a cupcake game too. I don't care what anybody says. You have to put that on the one game where you know you can win.
Yeah.
Call us bums. I don't care. But if you lose that game, oh god, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's going to
Put
be
on a cupcake.
that'd be an interesting.
Do it against the Buccaneers. Let's roll.
Yeah. Speaking of, never mind. We'll talk about that more because
Ooh.
I've got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to these new jerseys that's being brought. The new
them things
uniforms
are
being shown out.
disgusting.
It's not just the Bucks, buddy. Everybody that's
I
been
know.
showing them this week has been trash. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, but we'll talk about it tomorrow.
I agree.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Anyway, so congrats to my man Pep. Congrats to my man
Woo.
Moose.
Shout out
If they have any, they're gonna have memorabilia there for them. So when we go, possibly I'm gonna try to get some memorabilia for them. If anything, maybe just a Moose jersey to go with my Peppers jersey. So,
Moose.
but yeah, my favorite memory of Pep, honestly, I didn't have many because when I started watching was mainly in 2011, and Peppers was already gone from the team.
Yep.
So I guess my best memory was him coming back and
Having 10
washed
sacks.
Peppers, as they say, washed Peppers, put up 11 sacks.
Yeah, he put up double digits.
My favorite memory of Musa Muhammad was actually it was my very first football game. It was Carolina Panthers versus the Washington Redskins. Went down to the field, was standing there. Dad took me down because before the security guards were douchebags. They used to let you walk down there, and get autographs and stuff. Well, I walked down there and was talking to the cat man. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Legendary guy. And we was talking, and Musa Muhammad ran up to him, man, and gave him some gloves and was talking to him, whatever. And my dad told me, he said, reach down and talk to him, man. He's cool. And I reached down and talked to him for a little bit. He was a really cool man. So shout out my man Moose. Dude's a baller, man. So that was really cool.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I've got for them. Do you have any memories or?
Well, I think mine is the same as yours for Peppers because obviously I was I was alive when he was here the first time, but very, very young. Baby.
Yeah.
But with Moose, again, don't have any memories of him either because again, I was extremely young. But I guess you could say is he does have the longest reception in Super Bowl history. So
still to this day.
Shot at.
To this day. Like, we're not gonna forget about what that man Julius Peppers did. And that man, if you really think that Julius Peppers was just a good football player, you really need to go back and really watch what he did because it proves why. At the end of the day, this coming up season, when it's released, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easy. If he's not a first ballot,
if he's not a first ballot, something is wrong.
We fight.
I'm going to tell you.
We fight.
There's nobody on that list unless Bruce Smith was on that list, which he's already a Hall of Famer. But unless he was on that list, no one else should be getting in over here.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It'd have to be a once-in-a-lifetime talent to get it over.
It would have to be Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees all at the same time.
Because Julius Peppers himself is a lifetime athlete. Yep. Like it's just you don't get him very often.
Julius Peppers is consistent.
The only player in NFL history to ever play in the NCAA Final Four and a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like that, he was dominant in basketball too. He wasn't just a football. That man was an athlete. Like the man was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. Now, on to what we think could be the next Julius Peppers. He's not because he's the first Brian Burns.
Woo.
Number 0, Mr. Spider-Man, Mr. Spider Burns. What do
fire
you think
number?
The 0 is fire. Possibly, maybe looking into getting that one. Because anyway,
Glad I didn't buy 53.
Right, and I did. So, shoot me in the foot. Anyway, that's all right.
Well,
what do we think realistically Brian Burns is worth?
Okay, now first off, obviously an edge was signed. I believe it was this week. Could be wrong on that, but he was signed this week. I think Alex Highsmith for the Pittsburgh Steelers signed a 4-year, $68 million deal. All right, just to give a little bit of a precursor to what a guy who is not as good as Brian Burns got. I am going to guess. I'm gonna say 4 to 5 years. It's probably gonna be in probably about that 120, 125 mil, something like that. It's gonna be 20 plus. Honestly, it might be like 140 mil, might be 150 mil. He's getting 20 mil a year, easy, because the Panthers, once again, another reason you probably should have signed an edge. You have no leverage at all. You turned down 2 first-round picks, which makes sense, smart, that's not a bad thing. But what I'm saying is you declined 2 first-round picks. So you see him as very, very valuable. You don't have another edge because you've let every single one that's good walk. And he's the leader of your defense and pretty much the face of your franchise, except for now Bryce Young, who's unproven. You have to pay him whatever he wants, pretty much. Unless he wants more than Nick Bosa, which he might ask for. And I'd be like, I would heavily negotiate. Dime.
He's not going to ask for it. And even if he does, I'd be like, look, I hate to say it like this, but you're not Nick Bosa.
You ain't Nick Bosa, bud.
But what's happening is everybody's like, well, what if he don't sign before Nick Bosa? He's going to sign before Nick Bosa because Nick Bosa needs to know what he needs to ask for. So he's going to wait, and when Burns gets his pay, which I agree, Burns is probably going to be making somewhere between about 23 to 26 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Rightfully deserved. I get it. Nick Bosa could possibly pretty much get a blank check and go just whatever.
So PFF said they think it's in Nick Bosa's ballpark. It's 5 years, 167.5 mil, which would be $33 million per year. But that, again, take that with a grain of salt, is PFF taking a guess. So might not be that, but
I'm going to tell you, and another reason why this Brian Burns deal has to be done is because there is no like, well, maybe he'll take he may take a home whatever they call it, home field, what the hell they call it?
Hometown discount or not
hometown yeah. We know y'all know what we're saying.
Good point.
But no, I don't see it.
He ain't doing that.
Because he can go we don't hold any leverage.
We have no one else.
The reason we don't hold any leverage is because we don't have anyone else. And Burns can go, yeah, well, y'all got 2 first-round picks on the offer table, and you told them no because you wanted to keep me. So that means I'm worth something to you. So you're going to pay me what I'm worth.
Mm-hmm. Fact.
Carolina Holt, they put themselves in a predicament where, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. And maybe Scott, I got all my faith in Scott. That man Scott, he can work them fingers and magic happens. So maybe he'll pull out a $22 million a year. That's still okay, but whatever. He's gonna get what he deserves.
Yeah.
I hope he don't get more than 30 a year, but hey,
whatever happens.
What? Not my money.
Whatever happens at this point, bud.
I wish it was my money, but not my money. But yeah, it's
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Burns,
now you got a rookie QB. You got to spend it.
That's what I'm saying. You've got
Shared money don't make money.
Exactly.
Got to move on.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Burns will be somewhere upwards of 24 million a year. 100%. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So
the only other thing I think we got to talk about is the preseason. Matt Corral's going to get most of the offensive snaps.
Okay.
Which again makes sense. You're not going to put Bryce Young out there to really even take a chance.
I'd put if you do, I'd put him out there not even a quarter. I'd put him out there like 2 series.
Yep.
If
You don't
that.
put him out
I'd
there
put it
that
maybe
long.
a series and be like, let's see what you look like. Cool. Sounds
Mhm.
good. Sit down, shut up.
Mhm.
Don't say nothing because you might hurt you. You might pull your jaw or something. Don't say nothing.
Yep. And if Matt Corral looks good,
Matt Corral's
Trade.
doing one of 2 things. It's not just Matt because it's Andy Dalton too.
Yep.
One of these guys is having an on-field interview pretty much. Non-verbal on-field interview. It'd say, let's see what this guy looks like.
Yep.
Here it is. So if someone like,
Corral's gone.
I mean, anybody who, whatever.
Anybody want to trade, bro?
Yeah.
He gonna go out there, ball out.
I got a 5th for you.
Sweet.
Cha-ching. Here you go.
Cha-ching.
Go away.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Andy Dalton. Hey, I got a 3rd for you. Bye.
Yep. See you.
Bye.
See ya, bud.
Ain't gonna hurt me a daggone bit. Don't bother me a bit. What do I want to happen? I kind of hope Matt Corral stays on the team. Honestly, I think he's a good backup. I'd rather lose Andy Dalton than
Nah, I would rather keep
Matt
Andy.
Corral. Which I'd rather keep both of them, honestly, just for the fact of because if something is to happen to Bryce, I'd hate to see something happen to Bryce and then Matt be somewhere else balling out. You know what I'm saying? And we're back to, oh crap, here we are, because that would be the most Carolina Panther thing to happen. It really would be. Let's be honest. Like I mean, so, but it is what it is. But yeah, if anybody offers a slice of bread for Matt Corral, I'd take it. I don't care.
Yep, I'd take it.
Whatever.
Go.
It doesn't bother me a bit. Him or Andy Dalton, I don't care. Either one of them. But we got to have at least another one, at least a second string. And that's why I think that we don't trade him at all because of what happened to 49ers, San Francisco. You just do the thing where like what is it? What's the new rule? One of the QBs.
One of the QBs on your 53-man roster can technically play without being active at all.
Yeah, which is.
But they can only play if your other 2 quarterbacks are both, or however many quarterbacks are in front of them are hurt.
Yeah, they can't just be out there playing. If they're out there suited up without them other 2 being hurt, they're counted as a part of the 53. But
screwed.
Yeah. Other than that, that's it, man. I ain't got nothing else for us tonight. Maybe next episode we'll talk about the awful Madden ratings that's happening right now and the disrespect, not just all around to Carolina, but the offensive line was disrespected.
Oh, yeah,
Jason Horn was disrespected. But I ain't getting in it right now, man. I'm not dealing with it. But anyway, man, we're glad y'all tuned in. We're glad to talk a little bit of Panther. We're always here to talk some Panther football. That's what we love to do. Follow us on the socials below. You got the Panthers Den, and you got Pack the Bank Podcast. Man, comment, like, subscribe. Let us know, man, in the comments if there's anything you want us to talk about. Go over. You got some questions, we'll answer it, man. You can always shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Panthers Den if you want me to talk. I'll talk to anybody, man. I'm always open. I'm always cool to talk to anybody about Panther football any day of the week, man. So just let me know. Hit me up. Don't bother me. Hell, if somebody ever wants to come on, send me a message. I'll invite you. I don't care. The more the merrier, if you ask me. So other than that, man, that's all we got tonight. So like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, brother. Other than that, keep pounding, baby.
Woo!